What's going on, guys? Let me share a bit of information on this type of title and what could happen. So, a couple of weeks ago, probably like about a month ago, somebody called me. If you don't know what we do here, I run a rebuild title dealership. We're small, but we're growing. We rebuild everything here in house. We ship, we finance nationwide. I'm doing what I can. Anyways, we're very transparent. We offer a lifetime warranty on the cars that we repair, like for the repair work. Because why should it be different if let's say you got into an accident and you went to a body shop and they repaired it and your car wasn't totaled, you know what I mean? Like that body shop offers warranty on their repair work. So why wouldn't we do the same thing, right? Anyways, let's talk about this. A couple weeks ago, I had somebody call me, okay? And the person that called me, he said that he had a ZL1 that he wanted to sell, and he reached out. He sent me the VIN number, and right away I noticed. I told him, "Hey, dude, this car is." He told me he had a rebuilt title for it, and I saw its history, and I'm like, "Dude, this thing had a certificate of destruction, and I see it got processed through Kentucky, and basically the title that you have now is only accepted in about 13 states in this country. Anybody right now, as of today, I'm making this video on May 23rd, 2026." As far as I know right now, Kentucky has closed this loophole, okay? If you're not familiar with titles, there's, clean, salvage, rebuilt. You can have a clean title with total loss. And the worst title of all of them is certificate of destruction. It's a junk title, parts only title, non-repairable. These titles are exactly what it sounds like. It's just they don't want the car put back on the road, right? Now, sometimes some of the cars really barely have any damage, but for whatever reason, whatever state they're in, or whatever mood the insurance adjuster and the insurance company was, they decided to stamp it as junk title or certificate of destruction, right? When you have a certificate of destruction, you cannot get a rebuilt title and sell the car, okay? That's 99% of the time. Kentucky, for many years, Kentucky had a loophole. And the loophole was Kentucky was one of the only states that would register a certificate of destruction car. So if you bought a COD car, you can go to Kentucky, submit it, and they would give you a rebuilt title. But the rebuilt title was a different color than their normal rebuilt titles. Okay, this title in Kentucky was all accepted normally. However, if you were to try to sell one of these vehicles outside of Kentucky, there's like 12 states that would accept it and 38 that wouldn't. And what would happen is people or sellers who are not transparent on what they are explaining to people put people in a terrible situation. This guy calls me with the ZL1. He says, "I have a rebuilt title of ZL1. I want to sell it to you." And I would have no problem buying it, but I looked it up and it's got a certificate of destruction history. And I told him, "Hey man, the title that you have is no good. Either you are the scumbag who did this, or somebody sold it to you and lied to you," because he told me, "Hey, Florida rejected the paperwork. I cannot get a title or plates for this thing." I said, "Yeah, of course not." Now, why am I making this video? This guy called me a couple weeks ago. Yesterday, my friend sends me a link to a beautiful 2022 F8 Tributo. Okay? Now, I have no problems with salvage titles, rebuilt titles, accident history, deployed airbags. This is what we do here. I have an entire shop. We fix cars. We fix them very well. Title status means nothing to me. Condition of the car means everything, okay? I'm knocking this car because it's got history, all right? I'm knocking this car because this is a $315,000 car. Not a big deal. I'm not saying this is a high price or a low price. The price is the price, right? It's either the market will either accept it or, he will lower it or raise it. You never know. I have only 997 Porsches I've sold where they sat on the market for 3 months, 6 months. I raised the price $6-7 grand with a rebuilt title. And then a month later, the car sells. Price is just price. It's not the end all be all, okay? This is obviously on eBay, and eBay's got a free auto check in here. So let's check this out. Water damage doesn't have to be a big deal. None of this is not a big deal, except for if you're scrolling on the auto check. Here. Scrap, destroyed title. Unrebuildable title. Unrebuildable. And then here it is. Got issued salvage. Title. Not actual. Look. They loopholed this car. Okay? And this is from a year ago almost. Okay? This loophole is no more. You cannot do this through Kentucky anymore. If you're in the salvage game and you have any kind of experience, you know who was doing these titles. Again, not a big deal. It was legal, you know? But anyways, this is insanity that this is listed by a dealer, if it even is. Okay? Not a big deal. Okay? The thing is, there is zero mention. Where are we? Purchased auction with water-related title. Rebuilt KY title. There is zero mention. If somebody buys this car, and this gives rebuilders across the country a terrible image and reputation, because this is such a scumbag move, especially for a $300,000 car. Even if it was a $5,000 car, you know that this car destruction. You know it had a certificate of destruction. There's no way. Okay? There's no way. Let's see. Let's see what Carfax has to say. Another thing about these reports, they're very unorganized. You have to understand how to read them, okay? Junk title issued here. And look, in Kentucky, he changed it from junk to salvage. And then from salvage here to rebuilt here. Okay? Now, I'm not knocking this car. I'm not knocking its condition or price or anything. It looks like a beautiful car. I'm simply saying the lack of transparency. And those people who did this for him, okay? The dealership, okay? The service that they used, they tell you in an email, they tell you, hey, this car will only work in these 12 states. This title will not be accepted in all of these. So I'm wondering, what's going to happen with a $300,000 car? The best thing that could happen to this guy is he sells it for export, right? And then it'll never come back and safe, right? I'm thinking, what's going to happen if somebody from one of these states that doesn't do their due diligence buys this car and goes to try to register it, and 2 months later the state kicks it back through their, they're going to see in Nemvitas that there's a certificate of destruction, junk title history issued on the car, and you're trying to register it. Man, at 300 grand, you and the Ferrari people, they're going to come with a lawsuit straight to your door. And the seller knows. There's no hiding this. There's no, oh, I didn't know you couldn't do that. Because I know the service that he used. The service that he used, I've sold one of these cars in the past with a rebuilt COD. I sold it like 2 years ago, and I put right in the listing, hey, if you live in these 12 states, you'll be okay. This car can never be sent to these 38 states. And I sold the car to somebody. Transparency, right? These Ferrari guys, when they're dropping 300 grand on a car, man, you are going to catch the lawsuit of a lifetime, because you are... I don't think you're going to be able to play it off in a position where, oh, I didn't know. I thought it was a rebuilt title and it's good to go. And I have so many customers buy from us, all 50 states. Even we've sent a couple to Hawaii. I never have had a problem. We guarantee our paperwork to be accepted in all 50 states. I guarantee you can get financing on all of our cars. I guarantee that you can get full coverage on all of our cars. And if you total one of our cars, you will get paid well again. All right? This is the type of seller that ruins it for people who are trying to operate with some kind of morality and transparency for the retail environment to consumers. But dude, this Ferrari, where'd it go? I closed it out. Okay. This Ferrari, man, it's a beautiful car, but man, lacking transparency on that. So anybody who buys that thing, if you live in them states, I guarantee you, you're not going to clear registration. Good luck.